Yeah, I mean, there were so many of them, good and bad, and I work for such great leaders. There's a joke in the military that the two best bases are the one you just came from and the one that you're going to, not the one that you. People always have a hard time with it, but I think it's also, people, hey, what was your favorite assignment? What was your favorite? Well, it's because I think optimism is a huge part of that. And um, if anybody asks, we've been married 44 years. This August, we've been married for 45 years, Kim and I. And I think the one thing I can really center on, other than the fact we just love each other, and she's awesome, but it's just the optimism that we have. And I think when people are optimistic, that breeds something in you. And I think I saw that in my leaders, like, hey, this is going to work out. This is going to happen. We're going to figure this out. Even in the worst situation we're at, we're going to get through this. And I think that's super important. I think something that I learned from the military and what I saw was, and I'll share this with you. I always ask, if you had a project that you were assigned, you have to finish it. Maybe it's the SCP. I don't know. You have to get it right, or whatever you're going to do is going to elevate you in life or your rank or your job or position. And you only had to pick one person to be with on that project. Who would that be? So you must have a name that comes to mind. I mean, Brian, do you have a name aside from our podcast today? I mean, do you have?
I was going to say that's Buzz right now. There's a commitment, but
you have a name in mind.
Jake, and Jake is, and he's definitely been there. I had an injury to my shoulder over the summer and had to move, and he was right there. He even had his kindergartner, his son, carrying a lamp and some things, and just to know when you're transitioning, everything changes, and just to have a leader there who's willing to just take the time and the effort to go through those things. Yeah, yes, sir. I'd say, Jake, I don't say these kinds of things are normal, but I'd say you're right there. I'm not saying this because of the podcast or anything.
I'm gonna take that one in. It resonates close and deep. And I was your name came to mind as Buzz said that as well, Brian. I mean, it was such a you were right there with me during this conference, and I needed that in so many ways. And I appreciate that, and you and your willingness to trust in me and do that with me. Yeah.
Well, so I turn that answer around and say, well, I never told you what type of project it was. I never told you what it was about, how long it was, where it was at. No details about the project or the problem. But you pick a person not based on that. You pick a person because and I'm pretty sure most people will say this, but what they've answered is that they can count on them. They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
You can work easily with that person. They're conducive. They're collaborative. I mean, in other words, that person you're going to get through, and they won't quit on you. And so I think that's important. And I get those common themes back from people, and I'm sure that's what you probably say about each other. But the other thing I ask them is, well, if that's the type of person that you'd want on your team with you, then are you displaying the same behaviors in life that they are? Because wouldn't you want to be the guy that just says, oh, I'd love to have Buzz. I'd have Buzz with me. And so if you're not displaying those behaviors or displaying, then what are the gaps and seams in there? And I think that gets people thinking like, I'm not living up to where I want to be in life.